So in this video, I'm going to show you how to build and never miss a lead intake system for service businesses like HVAC, plumbing, electrical, appliance repair, cleaning, landscaping, pest control, swimming pool service, all those. Okay, picture this. It's 6:58 a.m. Phone rings, nobody answers. I got that. It's 6:58. Everyone's still sleeping. So customer hangs up. Calls the next company. Chuck, that repair guy. Let's name him Chuck Boris with a B. That company wakes up at 6. No, the owner wakes up at 5 a.m. and his virtual assistant logs in at 6. So that company answers one ring. Thanos. Snap. Like they actually enjoy money. Meanwhile, your office opens at 8, which you, the owner, usually wakes up at around 10. Snooze 5 times, 10 times. Wakes up at around 11 or 12. Sounds familiar, right? So your CSR clocks in, sees the voicemail. We call him back. No problem. We call him back. Then he gets distracted by a reschedule, a warranty complaint, 2 texts asking, "Where's the parts?" That's he, she, and we. And one customer from last week who wants last minute change, Jenna with a cat named Garfield. "I know your window time is at noon to 4 p.m., but can he come like 2:45, make it 2:46? So my cat gets anxious." God damn it. Fucking beautiful. A thriving business. Very serious operation. You're fucking kidding me. You wake up at 10 a.m. You don't seem to have a discipline as a business owner. You know what? Let's change that game. Here's the truth. Most service businesses do not have a missed call problem. They have an intake problem most of the time, 100%. When the lead dies in your company, it usually doesn't die from one big dramatic failure. It dies from a chain of dumb little failures. Nobody answered. Nobody owned the callback. No one sent a backup text. Nobody logged the source. Nobody qualified the job. Nobody moved it forward, and everyone assumed maybe someone's doing it already. That's not a fucking operation. That's just a community theater with invoices. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about what actually missed call can cost you. Everyone says, it's just one call. Nope. It's not just one call. It could have been a $20,000 book job that your competitor, Chuck Boris, happily accepted it and earned it just because he has a virtual assistant that wakes up at 6 a.m. Second, it could have been a 5 years maintenance and repair contract. Oh, wow. Long term, baby. Or it could be a replacement opportunity worth $100K. Somebody called to fix their water heater and their 3 units of 5-ton air conditioning. Somebody just want to call and replace it. But you didn't answer it. Guess what? You're still sleeping. Hangover from yesterday's barbecue party with your buddies. Fourth, it could be a maintenance client. Short term, 6 months, 1 year, but still makes a lot of money. Could be a big opportunity. Fifth, it could be the accounts payable, simply rushing just to get a simplest, most stupid W-9 because they want to pay you today. It could probably cover up some of your payroll before Friday hits. Sixth, it could be a call from one of the advertisement that you paid. So it was a lost. It was a lost advertisement cost you've paid for. $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month. I don't know how much you paid. Seventh, it could be your bank giving you $500K limit. It could be your bank giving you not $100K. But It could be your bank giving you $1 million credit line. That could finance your next material. That could finance your truck. Last, it's technician hours that stays empty while you tell yourself the market is slow. All of this could have been money, and you could have paid your technician hours. Those empty gap that you have to pay your technician. They're kind of like in idle moment. You just can't do anything about it. These could cover those lost cost. So all of that, man, you don't blame your VA. You don't blame your team. Your phone discipline is just too fucking slow. The system itself, it's slow. You know what? The real insult is this. You are paying your marketing agency for leads just to ignore them in high definition. Kind of sucks, huh? How much do you pay? $3,000? $5,000? Even if it's just $1,000, that's a loss. You're paying them to run your Google ads, your local service ads, or LSA, their bullshit promise of SEO that you're going to pop out in Google in the next 3 months. You're paying a marketing agency and another marketing agency just to, balance them. One is running YouTube, one is running the different shit. One is running a different social media that you never even heard of. And going back to the basic of sending mail physically, which those people never heard of email. Then the phone rings and your business responds like a haunted house. Nobody's there, just vibes and confusion, and nobody gives a fuck how much you paid for your marketing agency. Guys, phone is not an admin work. Phone is sales. Phone is operations. Phone is dispatch control. Phone is your front door. You know what? Here's the nasty part. Most owners don't even know how bad the problem is because the lead didn't get lost in one visible place. Got lost between phone system, text inbox, web form, probably inside your Facebook or Instagram chat, and James Carter's memory, your customer service, your new guy. You're not just losing leads, you're losing visibility. And yeah, did I mention money? Yep. So how many missed calls in your business right now are not actually bad leads? They're just leads that your team handled it like an amateur. That's one. Or they just don't give a fuck. Let me recommend you a couple of the best softwares that I see from a lot of owners that I've worked with. Just my recommendation. Not yet sponsored, not yet paid. So this is just me. I hope they're going to sponsor me someday. We're going to create one big review of all this. Okay. So one is Contractors Plus. If you have a big chaos, this is good. The Big Pro, it's built to pull calls, client portals, web forms, and other intake channels into one workflow. Then it automatically turns those into leads and tasks, which I know some software does this, but this is just, for me, this is just really intuitive. The AI phone answering, when you have AI nowadays, sounds sexy. So let's just go with that. So the AI phone answering, missed call text back, call transcription, scheduled follow-ups, and pipeline tracking all living in just in one same system. Go High Level does this. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Other software does this, but this is just more, it's just more fluid and more intuitive. Okay. That matters, especially when your office receive a call for like 4:57 p.m. and it's Friday. And guess what? Obviously goes to voicemail. Nobody answers it. Okay. Next one. Quote IQ. This is good. The Pro, fast. Like speed to lead. Easy booking. 24/7. If you have like it has a never miss a lead side of it with a 24/7 virtual call team. Okay. Client Hub. It also has that. It keeps messages in one place, in-app calling, texting and higher plans. I guess Quote IQ, if I could put them on a watch, Quote IQ is, how to say it? Rolex, Contractors Plus, Two-Door, or Omega. Quote IQ is a Lambo Contractors Plus is more like a Ferrari. You know, kind of. So both are fast, right? So each has their own pros and cons depending on the optics, depending on who you're gonna ask, depending on how big your operations is. So don't kill me. Yeah, like I said, you could go above and beyond, and look at some other software like Go High Level. There's like high volume calls or leads, and of course Dialpad, Slack, Monday.com if you have all of those. Okay, so let's move on to operators' mindset shift. Here's a mindset shift. Structure the situation, engineer the execution. If you could master that phrase, if you could like fully absorb that phrase, you could be an assassin. You could execute things right when you want it with proper workflow. Everything is just structural, not theoretical, just structural. The moment a lead comes in or a new scope of work comes in, it could be a big job or a big turning point in your business, or it could just be a normal, small, routine job. But either way, you must have a structural workflow, a standard structural workflow on how to execute all of that. So here are a couple of things. Your operation is structured or must be structured from scenario A, having scenario B, plan C, plan D, and so on. Second, your CRM is structured with a pipeline for customer A, B, C. Who is this? Who's going to pay? Who's the property manager? Who's the tenant? Who's the wife? Who's the second wife? A couple of that, right? Third, you got to have a standard pricing to follow. Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3. How much is Zone 1? How much is Zone 2? How much is Zone 3? All right? If this amount of truck that I have for Zone 1, this is the price. At this truck, this is the price. At this truck, this is the price. So, yeah, you got to have all those in template. Everything is set into standard. You don't guess every time there's a new scope of work. Fourth, you got to have a standard template for purchase order, estimate, and maintenance contract. Okay? And some other documentations. And the next action is already assigned. You don't guess every time a new lead comes in, new scope of work comes in, new whatever comes in. You must have a proper, standard, strong, solid template already built in the system. That's how your company can scale. All those fucking boring stuff, that's where money is. Ask every businessman. Ask every operator. The boring part, the template. Everything must be predictable. Everything must have a template. Everything must have a workflow, a structured system. Everything must be predictable. If you can predict your workflow, you can predict your income. You can predict your scale. Not calls here, not texts here, not forms somewhere else, not direct messages in another inbox, not voicemail trap in random app, not when the owner is already acting like a bloodhound trying to reconstruct what happened. Dude, that's just not business. Guys, if your business is not structured, it's just a hobby. Okay? Yeah, you have skills. You can fix washers and dryers. Yeah, you can fix a microwave. Yeah, you could do some couple of grafting in your landscaping business. Yeah, you could kill some rats with a couple of chemicals that you know. But that's just not a structured business to scale. It's just a couple of things that you know. You know? So, rule is simple. A lead is not received when it rings. A lead is received when it's captured, assigned, and moved in your system. That's it. Guys, you could tweak this pipeline a bit depending on the size of your operations and the frequency of leads coming in. You don't need to follow exactly, but you can create your own pipeline. You can create your own template. You can create your own workflow. If you don't know how, email me in the description. My email is in the description below, or comment something. You don't build 27 stages, not left voicemail number 2, but sounded hopeful. Not maybe call back after lunch. not waiting on husband, not customer wants Friday because his cousin is visiting. It's just awful. Those are notes and tasks. Pipeline is movement. Everything else is noise. Everything else is fucking noise. The second mindset shift is speed matters. But speed without structure is just faster chaos. Okay? Guys, I don't want a team that responds fast but captures garbage. It's useless. Right? You're being fast. Just fastly being stupid. And that's not how your workflow should work. Your team needs to respond fast, but qualifies clean, books correctly, and hand off without making field guesses. You know how to do that? Template. If you don't know how to create a template, create a workflow, email us, we're going to create you one. So imagine them in a conveyor belt. You don't have to listen to fucking business guru with all their theory and promising cash flow bullshit. Guys, it's not theoretical. It's just structural, right? It's template. It's just structural. Not theory, business guru from a business management professor. It's just structural. It's simple. It's just how human behavior works, and we just have to follow it. Not memory, not theory, just fucking structure. You just have to create that system. You build the system, run the system, and let the system run. Let me repeat that. That's my line, by the way. Don't steal that. Build the system, run the system, and then let the system run. Okay? Let the system run is where the automate rolls in, right? You build the system, you run the system, that's the operate part. Then let the system run, that's the automate part. Okay? But it needs to have a workflow first. Okay. Let's move on with the next slide. Step 1. Build one front door, not 6 doors. Just one fucking door. Let me explain. If I'm building a never miss a lead system, I start by forcing all channels in just one lane. Calls, text, website form, chat, Facebook chat, Tinder. No, not Tinder. Did I mention Tinder? Forget that. So Facebook leads, Google leads, referral submissions, and whoever from your ex-wife who may have come from Tinder. So it doesn't matter where they came from. They land in one intake system, one intake command center. Who owns this? Your VA, CSR, or it can be both, or it can be separate, depending on how big your operations is. They can handle this during business operation. They can handle this after hour coverage or backup automation after hours, or depending on the shifting schedule that you have structured for them. Or this could be your dispatcher. Dispatcher could be your tenure agent that could handle the escalation, maybe not for basic intake chaos. So yeah. Where it lives in the CRM, obviously, new lead, new work request stage, source field, call outcome field, service type field, priority field, consent field, and a few fucking notes. Okay? And yeah, attachment and photos. So those where those intake info lives in your CRM. Guys, my team and I can help you build a phone system. Your call structure should work like this. Goes to your main number. If it doesn't answer, goes to option 1, 2, 3, and 4. You've called some other companies, some other commercial businesses. It always goes like this, right? But what happens behind that, that's what we're going to build. We're going to structure it. We're going to integrate some API, connect it with Slack, connect with your email, connect it with your Go High level, with your CRM. It can provide you with software that can create transcript, summary for all this, and some AI shit. Also voicemail. If voicemail exists, but voicemail is not within the plan, you can connect it, like I said, to Slack and just set up the channel where everyone can see. Really, really helpful. We've done this several times in different companies in case this is not being handled, in case you're still using a dinosaur phone system. So we're going to build that. Here's the most important part. After hours calls, you can assign a VA depending on the shift. If you have like 3 VA, you have a third VA working from 2 to 11 on your local time. That's morning in Philippines. So That's even better for some VA. Also, emergency categories have a separate rule. So, lastly, every missed call interaction creates a task, not a memory. I can show you a blueprint for this and help you out. Check the email in the description below. Doesn't have to be fancy. Just need to have adult supervision and a real solid workflow. Okay. Let's create a solid scheduling structure for your remote team. Let's say you have 4 person in here. So your VA and your CSR, your virtual assistant and your customer service is just 1 person. One was logged in at 6 a.m. to 3 p.m., 9 hours. She could have lunch in the middle. So that's 8, but plus 1. So that's 9 hours. Okay. So 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Usually 8 to 11 is the busiest. So you need 2 VA in this hours. 3 to 5 p.m. is kind of slow. Okay. So what she does during those business hours, she does the early prep. She's also the main hotline. Now, the second VA comes in, interfering that 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So between 8, if you look at the mapping of the time frame, so your dispatcher can come in at 8. Very important. She's going to be handling scheduling. She's going to be handling escalations, not just for basic intake chaos. So from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., 12 to 5, all she does is just clean up, collect, email, follow up, and a couple of accounting stuff, payroll, accounts payable, accounts receivable. And then your third one is 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. She can work 5 to 11. That's the after hour service calls, right? If you don't have, well, she can handle some stuff. She can prep handoff for tomorrow, 6 a.m. She can clean some documentations from earlier morning, clear up some notes, QA some stuff, the calls, everything from the whole day. She can handle the automations as well after hours. So she needs to know a couple of automation stuff from go high level, and Saturday, Sunday. So from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., you can assign 1 person. He can work Saturday, Sunday. He can clean up some week invoices, do a little bit of payroll in preparation for Monday. If you have these people that you can leverage, the rest follows. The whole operation becomes smooth like butter. So everything becomes a machine now. If you have people, software, structure, and an operator, now you can have a vacation. Everything can scale with or without you. Nothing fancy, just adult supervision. Guys, you got to be very strict with your SOP at this stage. Live calls answers fast. Missed calls return within 5 minutes during business hours. If no live callback yet, backup text goes immediately. You got to set up automation system in your phone. 4th, website form acknowledged within 5 minutes. You know what? Make it 2 minutes. If it's just a website form, everything should be automated, especially business hours. Okay. Overnight leads touched first thing next business morning, even if it's Saturday, even if it's Sunday. Okay. You could have had a 100K project who called you Sunday morning, but since you have a VA who works as, part-time on Sunday, boom, there you go. If your business says, we're going to call you back. Right now, we're not available. You know what a customer hears? Please continue shopping. Step 2, use a 60-second triage script. So you stop booking trash. Step 3 is triage, obviously. This is where intake stops being receptionist work and becomes money work. I want the first 5 live contact to answer 6 things. Who is this? What do they need? How urgent is it? What kind of job is it really? What do I need to collect before booking? What is the next correct steps? That's it. Not a therapy session, not a 14-minute saga about what happened in 1998, not, let me tell you about my last contractor. Fuck. You just need to be really focused on those details. So my intakes are confirm name, address, best callback, Ask what problem they want to solve. Determine service call, estimate project warranty or emergency. You can collect 2 to 4 qualifiers based on job type and set expectations for next step and move it in CRM immediately. For example, HVAC. I might ask, no cool or weak cool? One system or multiple? Thermostat blank or working? It happens. System age, if known. Any ice, water, noise, or burning smell? Or probably just your smell? Is anyone else coming out already? You could be in trouble if your buddy Chuck Boris already went there first, or may have had a previous history with different technician. So just clear that out, okay? For cleaning, just an example. Standard clean, deep clean, moved out, post-construction? Maybe. Number of bed and baths, pets, condition level, inside appliances or windows included, access or any parking. Let me ask you this. How many bad jobs in your company right now that are not actually bad jobs? They were just booked by people who didn't ask enough questions. Simple, right? Could have been simple. Step 3, missed call recovery has to be automatic, not optional. Okay? Now we get to the part where everybody screws up. Here's the thing. If your system requires a human being, an actual Homo sapien, who thinks, who has memory, but you require him to remember every missed call and manually rescue every lead, congratulations, your system is already broken. Done. Bam. This is where human intervention breaks. Because humans forget, humans get slammed, humans assume, humans click away, and humans says, I'll do it in a minute, which is office language for, this lead is about to die in a parking lot. Fuck! No! And did I mention humans get horny? And humans get distracted. So yeah. That happens. I'm not saying you're not going to employ human. You need to. Humans have emotion. You just have to have a structure for humans. Okay? And this is one thing that makes us unique because we're human. And there are pros and cons if we don't have any structure. So, I automate the first save. The second a call is missed, one of two things can happen. During business hour, missed call creates a callback task. Lead enters missed call recovery stage. Auto text goes out. Owner is assigned, either it's a VA or your dispatcher or whoever, and the timer starts. Okay? So after hours, lead gets instant acknowledgement. Expectations are set for next contact. Emergency routing applies only if the category qualifies it. Fourth, otherwise, it queues for first touch next morning. Even if it's Saturday, doesn't matter. I don't care. It's business, okay? Guys, the auto text is not cute, but it's functional and it's there for a reason. Something like, sorry, we missed your call. Simple text template. Hey, sorry, we missed your call. This is Boris Company. Reply with your name, address, and what do you need help with, and we'll get back to you ASAP. Bam. Simple, right? We could set it up at go high level. Not like this. Hi, thanks for reaching out. We're thrilled and honored and overjoyed and humbled and whatever. Shut the fuck up. Just book the fucking job. Call the customer within business hours. Okay? My missed call recovery workflow is simple. Call back first. If no answer, text immediately. If no response, second attempt later that day. Make sure. Second or third attempt. If still no response, the next day, final touch, or maybe the next day. Depends on who's calling it, right? If it's familiar within your CRM. If dead after that, mark outcome cleanly with lost reason. Maybe the customer's just not interested. Maybe it was just a fucking missed call. Could just be a collection agency or a marketing agency calling you for whatever. Guys, If you have a clean system, you got a clean outcome. 100%. 100 million fucking percent. Clean system, clean outcome. Garbage in, garbage out. Simple as that. Okay? You reap what you sow. In, out, in, whatever. Step 4. Book it correctly, then hand it off without screwing the field. Step 4 is booking, obviously. Once the lead response and triage is done, I move it to need estimate or create work order, not before, because I don't want to intake people freelancing appointment with bad information just to feel productive. Okay? Who's the owner? Who runs this? So who owns this task? You, the owner, or your operations manager, whoever that can create higher estimate, high ticket, handle weird or regulated jobs or anything that smells money shit. Second, your VA or your CSR, create work order, simple job order or book standard work. Third, your dispatcher. They can create skill and capacity mapping. They need to be trained and to be able to check all logistical parameters, right? Skills, proximity, availability, truck inventory. If you're a swimming pool business, check the nearest SCP store warehouse. If you're in landscaping or electrical, HVAC, appliance repair, cleaning, you got to map out the nearest Home Depot in the same route in case you need a couple of epoxy or something, or you need the nearest public storage to stash away some of your big machines, some old stuff. You need to map it out as well because, guys, that is crucial and that is really important. Having a strategic storage facility for your tools and stuff is crucial. Train your VA. Where are this strategic supply zone? So primarily map them accordingly. Tech is on the north, must be on the north. Tech on the west, must be on the west. Tech on the east, must be on the east. Tech on the south, must be on the south. Guys, do not freelance and mix the intake. What the customer said, what we ask, what we believe this is, what was promised, what the tech should expect, what the customer approved or has not even approved yet, not customer needs help. Step 5 is QA. QA the intake like sales calls because that's what they are. This is where company either becomes adults or keep telling the same stupid story every quarter. If you don't review calls, texts, and forms, then your intake team is training itself. And that is terrifying because you could not create a template out of it. So I score intake on 5 things: response speed, question quality, booking accuracy, CRM documentation, outcome clarity. I need you to document this specific lost reasons, okay? Real lost reasons. I need you to document this properly and correctly. Not, the customer is not interested. Not, I couldn't reach the customer. You need to document the customer properly. They could have hired a competitor, price, timing, no answer after sequence, out of service area, wrong job type, duplicate, not qualified, emergency already solved, no longer needed. Because when you see these patterns, then you can fix the system. If you don't see these patterns, you cannot fix the system. You don't see the problem. You don't see the hole in your boat while you're sailing, then next thing you know, you're going to sink. This should be your daily QA dashboard. Your phone system must have a QA dashboard where you can see at the back admin how many total inbound calls came in today, how many calls that are live, how many missed recovered, average callback speed, forms submitted, forms contacted, book job, lost jobs by reason, lead source by book revenue. So I got a question for you. Do you actually know your missed call recovery right now? Or you're just emotionally attached to the idea of your office that usually people call back? No, they don't call back. If you don't answer, if you don't give them the right answer right away, immediately, and answer it immediately, they don't call back. Not 100%. 70, 80% of the time, they don't call back. That's it. Here's a couple of realizations that you got to build. For you as the owner, it's a mindset shift at this stage. A missed call is not a small problem. It's a sales failure, a process failure, and a custody failure. I want you to tell this to yourself. If a lead touches my business, I want a name on it, a stage on it, and a next action on it. Everything is structured, built properly, correctly. For your team intake discipline, we don't book jobs off half a sentence. We ask enough questions to protect the schedule, protect the technician, and protect the customer from having a wrong expectation. That could bleed your cash flow with recalls. Mistakes to avoid. Mistake 1, using voicemail like a strategy. What it costs. Lead loss, slow response, more shopping around, no accountability. What to do instead? Live answer first. Automation second. Voicemail last. Mistake number 2. No missed call stage in the CRM. What it costs? Nobody owns rescue. Callback vanishes. You cannot measure recovery. What to do instead? Create a missed call recovery stage with task, timer, and clean outcome. Mistake number 3. No guided questions by job type. What it costs? Bad booking, bad handoff, more drive time, more reschedules, technician frustration. Next thing you know, they're gone. What to do instead? Use short branching intake script by service type. Mistake 4. Treating after hours like dead hours, like nothing happens. Everyone is asleep already. I'm tired. I don't want to answer the call. You know what it will cost? Morning pileups, hold leads, lost emergencies, owner panic. Your VA will lose its sanity. What to do instead? Use auto acknowledgement. Automate everything. Backup routing or after hours coverage. Assign someone. Mistake 5. No QA. I get that. You don't have a proper person to be a QA, but assign someone to check on someone's back. Watch their 6. All right? What it costs? Same mistakes forever. Same mistake. Over and over and over again. Office folklore. No coaching. No improvement. What to do instead? Review calls, forms, texts, and outcome every week. If it cannot be measured, then it cannot change. This is the way you can measure it. Okay? Last one. Always rules, never rules, if then rules. Here are my always rules. Always capture the lead before you try to solve the lead. Always assign ownership within minutes, not whenever somebody remembers. No. Third, always log the next action in the CRM before the conversation ends. Here are my never rules. Never. Never let missed calls sit on a phone app like forgotten leftovers. Never book off incomplete information just to make the board look full. Third, never let intake live in private phone, side text, or people's head. Never. Ever. Here are my if-then rules. If a call is missed, then callback task and backup text fire immediately. Bam! Immediately. Bam! Automatic. Reflex. If a lead is not being contacted within your service level agreement, then it escalates. If the customer doesn't answer, then the sequence continues and the outcome is logged cleanly. Okay, let's wrap this up. A real never miss a lead intake system is actually not complicated. It just requires discipline. It just requires system. It just requires a template. One front door, one missed call recovery lane, one triage script, one booking standard, one clean handoff, one QA loop. And you just have to fucking enforce it. That's it. Here's the best part. Once you build that whole intake system, the phone stops being this random source of chaos and starts acting like what it actually is, as a phone. a revenue pipeline, a real one, not a ringing decoration, not a software that you're just paying monthly for nothing. So if your office still handles inbound leads like the call is a surprise every single time, fucking fix it right now. If you can't fix it, let us know. Because the market is not going to slow down and wait for your team to become organized. You don't blame Trump. You don't blame the fuel price. If you don't have enough calls, comment below if there are a few dumb things that you've done with your intake system. We're going to help you out. Here's the best part. If it's structured, then we can fix it. Easy. You just need someone to operate it properly. So yeah. Next episode is episode 4, customer data cleanup, the simple system that stops repeat questions and mistakes. My email is in the description below. If you want to work with us, if you want to sponsor us, this is a brand new YouTube channel. So help us out. Like and subscribe. Ciao.